Let me describe a person to you, and tell me if this sounds familiar.
You're not broke. You're not bad with money.
You're a competent adult with a solid job, and somehow you still feel trapped.
You live in Europe now. Maybe Berlin, maybe Barcelona, maybe just outside London.
You've got meetings, deadlines, a calendar that looks like a war zone.
So you do what successful people do. You buy a reliable car, not a flashy car, not a supercar, just a grown-up car. Because in your head, the car equals freedom. It means you've made it. It means you're safe. It means you're in control. Here's the problem. In 2026, a car in Europe isn't a purchase. It's a contract stack.
A finance contract.
An insurance contract.
A tax contract. A repair tech contract.
And, depending on your city, a permission slip that can get revoked by rules you didn't vote on.
And once that stack gets tall enough, you don't own your car. Your car owns your options. Most people think the cost of a car is the payment. Can I swing 450 euros a month? Can I make 600 euro work? That's the first trap. Because your brain doesn't shop for total cost. It shops for monthly comfort. That's present bias. Your future self can deal with it. Your future self always does. And Europe has perfected this with financing structures that feel gentle up front and heavy in the long run. The monthly looks friendly.
The commitment tail is what wrecks you.
Now let's talk about why the payment is so easy to normalize. Because the baseline moved.
Jado looked at mainstream European segments across Germany, France, Italy, and the UK, and found average retail prices jumped hard from 2018 to 2024. Roughly plus 34% in B segment and plus 36% in C1 segment.
That's not a small inflation problem. That's a reality shift.
So when you tell yourself, I'm just buying a normal car,
You might be buying what used to be a premium financial obligation.
now here's the cost that doesn't hurt today,
but hurts you later.
Depreciation, or, as I like to call it, the part of the car you use up while you sleep.
People act like depreciation isn't real because it's not a monthly invoice.
But it's still a bill.
In Germany, ADAC literally warns that if you only look at purchase price and fuel consumption, you can fall into a cost trap because their cost checks include everything from insurance to value loss.
That's the adult version of the truth.
A car bleeds value, and you're funding that bleed. And then there's the cost most people only learn about after the first hit.
Modern cars aren't just metal and an engine.
They're sensors, cameras, radar, software.
So a bumper is not a bumper anymore.
Collision repair data from CCC shows calibrations used to be rare, like under 1% of repairable appraisals in 2017. By 2025, it's more than 23%. And in repair-heavy programs, it's even higher. And CCC also highlights that calibrations can extend cycle times, meaning your smallest accident be days or weeks of waiting, rentals, and chaos. Now, CCC is reporting heavily from the US market, so don't treat the exact percentages as Europe equals sane. But the mechanism is global. More sensors means more scanning, means more calibration, means bigger bills and longer downtime. Here's where this stops being about cars and start being about your life.
You don't pay for your car with money. You pay for it with after-tax hours.
When your fixed costs rise, your minimum required income rises.
And suddenly, the job isn't a choice. It's a requirement. That's the golden handcuffs effect. You want to take a sabbatical? Switch careers?
No! Say no to that toxic manager!
Move to a cheaper city?
You look at your monthly obligations and the answer becomes, not yet.
And Europe adds a special layer to this. Because cities here don't just price driving. They regulate it.
Example: London.
Starting January 2, 2026, the congestion charge daily fee goes to £18, and the rules around cleaner vehicle discounts change too. This isn't rumor. TfL spells it out. And if you drive across borders, the rules change again. In France, you've got low-emission zones tied to the Crit Air vignette system. Driving in the zone without the proper sticker can trigger fines, commonly cited as XDA for private vehicles.
with higher penalties possible, depending on circumstances.
This is the part Americans underestimate when they move here. Your car isn't just an expense. It's a compliance relationship. So here's the shift. Stop asking, what car can I afford? That question is how the system wins. Because afford usually means make the payment. Start asking, what level of fixed cost keeps my options alive? Because the Flex in 2026 Europe isn't a nicer car. The Flex is being able to say, I'm leaving, I'm taking a break, I'm moving, I'm not doing 60-hour weeks anymore. You need one number.
Not vibes.
Your true monthly car cost. Payment or depreciation reserve if paid cash. Insurance, fuel and charging.
Maintenance, repairs.
Parking, tolls, city charges. Taxes and fees. And yes, value loss behikkening. That's why ADAC explicitly includes costs like insurance and value loss when they run the numbers. If you don't count depreciation, you're not calculating cost. You're doing emotional bookkeeping. The most dangerous part of a car isn't the engine. It's the length of the obligation. If you have to stretch terms, ignore balloon payments, or pretend future repairs won't happen, the car isn't affordable. It's just temporarily survivable. That's the difference. Assume you will pay the tech tax. Because calibration and diagnostics are becoming routine in modern repairs. CCC's data shows that trend clearly, so you plan for it instead of being emotionally ambushed by it. That's what adults do. They price risk. I'm not telling you to sell your car and start cycling in the rain like a Scandinavian influencer. I'm saying, buy back margin. One fewer driving day per week. Batch errands. Hybrid commute. If you're a two-car household, test one car for 30 days. Because miles aren't just miles. Miles are wear, fuel, time, parking, stress. This is not deprivation. This is strategy. Here's the line you need to remember. A car feels like freedom until it becomes the reason you can't change your life. In 2026, the trap isn't that cars are evil. The trap is that the system convinces high-functioning professionals to trade optionality for a symbol of stability, and then charges them monthly for the privilege. The goal isn't the perfect car. The goal is options.
Here's your challenge.
This week, calculate your true monthly car number. Everything. Payment, insurance, fuel, parking, repairs, city charges, and a depreciation reserve. Then ask one question. If I didn't have this obligation, what would I finally have the courage to do? That's the real cost. What would you do with your options?